Hey guys, it's Quickie Baby, and today Nailbiter of the North American server is going to show us some fantastic gameplay in the STB1. This is the Tier 10 Japanese medium tank, and as we can see by the mark of excellence on Nailbiter's barrel there, he has played the STB1 quite a lot, and very effectively as well. And, oh man, I can't wait to get my hands on this tank after watching this replay. It almost makes me want to rush to get it right now. The DPM of this beast really shows through, having the highest DPM with the best rate of fire of the 105mm on any of the medium tanks. Now, that's not to say that the gun doesn't have its weaknesses. Its aim time is significantly longer at 2.3 than the other medium tanks that use the 105mm, and its accuracy is also not the best either. But at short to medium ranges, you can't go wrong with this 105mm on the STB1. And we're definitely going to see that later on in the gameplay. Now the aim time and the accuracy, as you can see here, it takes the STB1 a little longer than usual to get accurate. And hopefully you're not needing to pinpoint weak spots on the enemy tanks, because the accuracy is not the best either. However, the low armor profile of this vehicle and the 10 degrees of gun depression, the highest on any of the medium tanks along with the FE4202, means that you have the flexibility to put the gun to use. Now this position on airfield is very strong indeed. It's a position that I'd like to get to in any tank really that's got good gun depression. And the STB1 having a top speed limit of I think 50 kilometers an hour really can motor on ahead of quite a lot of the other medium vehicles to be able to get into these kind of positions. And thinking about that just for a second, really, the only medium tanks that this is faster than would be the FE4202 and the M48 Pattern. But those are kind of its nearest neighbors, so to say. And having that nice top speed and the maneuverability, as well as the ridiculous DPM, do make this Japanese medium tank a serious threat on the battlefield. Now, of course, its side armor and its rear armor are not excellent. Its frontal armor, however, is well angled. It does have much better turret armor frontally than, for example, the FE4202. The Nailbiter is Overwatch at the moment. He's using these bushes to remain hidden from his opponents and getting good view range for his team. Takes a blind fire there at the Pattern, but for some reason is still staying in base. If I was the Pattern, I would probably be looking towards situating in the mid-ridge, or possibly locating up in this area here. Now Nailbiter missed a shot on the bat chat there. It was going rather quickly. And as I'm only at the Type 61 in this tank, I've only managed to play this vehicle, the STB1, on the test server. And that was before it had its aim time slightly nerfed. So I can't entirely comment on how tricky it is to aim at vehicles with the STB1, but I guess it must perform fairly similarly to, for example, the Centurion 7.1 and the 105 there. Obviously with an extra 50% DPM over the 7.1. But the aim time and the accuracy, I should expect a fairly similar. Or at least, probably a better comparison would be the M46 Pattern's gun. So the game is developing quite slowly. The accuracy we can see falling through there. A bit of RNG sends that shell wide of the object 268. So this is where the battle really starts to get going. There's a Waffenträger auf Panzervier, which Nailbiter puts a good shot into. And wow, we can see 3 German Tier 10 tanks advancing into an IS-7 and IS-8. Before Nailbiter deals with them, he wants to get a free shot in the Object 140. Just skims over the turret. An excellent shot there by the enemy artillery. Damages 2 tanks and takes 1 out. What a gigantic shot that was by Trank Commander in the 2-1-2A. And the German Tier 10 piles around the corner and Amaraks an IS-7 sending its turret flying. Now the E-100 wants to try and take care of this British Tier 10 medium tank, the FE-4202. But some good teamwork there between Nailbiter and the FE-4202. Took the Jagdpanzer E-100 out. And now they can focus on these 2 E-100s and a T-110E3. And just check out the DPM on this 105mm. A heat shell enters his tank there, but he's brutalizing the side of this T-110E3 here. And this 7.5 rounds a minute rate of fire with the 105mm looks simply excellent here at the moment on the STB-1. So the T-110E3 had enough of him shooting him in the side. But the FE-4202 sneaks past 2 E-100s and manages to finish off the E3. I believe the E-100 missed the FE-4202 there. I have no idea how that FE-4202 is still alive. And finally, the E-100s managed to take him out. Now Nailbiter must be a little bit more worried. He's got 2 E-100s down there. Finished playing around with the British Tier 10 medium tank, and now they want to snack on this Japanese vehicle as well. One of the E-100s is overwatching that corner. Nailbiter's keeping him spotted. However, his artillery is long dead, while the enemy artillery is very much alive. And considering the angle that the artillery managed to shoot those 3 tanks earlier, it's quite likely that the artillery is located in the southeast, even though he hasn't been spotted yet. So a Tier 9 turreted German tank destroyer, the Waffenträger auf Panzer IV, is motoring forward. Nailbiter puts in a great shot into his track, forcing the Waffenträger to use his repair kit. Nailbiter penetrates the side of the Waffenträger, sets him on fire, and even though he rolled for what could have been a min roll, 293 damage, he got justice because the fire managed to finish off that tank destroyer. So Nailbiter does the right thing here, and he falls back off that ridgeline, which was now going to be dominated from pretty much the whole other part of the map. Manages to bounce an E-100 shell, put a shot into the T-110E4, and the other E-100 fires clutch on the move. Massive mistake. Fails to hit Nailbiter, who puts in a great tracking shot into the E-100. He puts the 105mm to good work there, circle strafing that E-100 who foolishly missed him, and the other E-100 only manages to track it. Now he's using the mobility of the STB-1 and the fantastic rate of fire to make these German Tier 10 heavies look really stupid. Fantastic work there. An absolute game-changing moment where he went against 3 Tier 10 tanks. One with significant health left, and the other with marginal health left. And the other one was only a one-shot. Nevertheless, he evened up the score. The 1-2-1 on his team takes out the Chinese Tier 8 light tank, the WZ-132. And Nailbiter is trying to get into position here quickly to help his friend out, but he gets ammo-racked. And now he's lining up a shot on this Batchat. Wow, fantastic shot there. Had to fire it clutch. That is such an amazing result that one went in. It could have really gone anywhere, but it flew true, and Nailbiter aimed it perfectly, taking out the Batchat. And a Batchat is something that you never really want to have roaming around in this kind of 5-on-1 situation that Nailbiter has managed to get himself into here. This could very easily have been 8v1 for the 1-2-1 if Nailbiter hadn't managed to do that fantastic work. Now using the bushes here, he's managed to get a fantastic position on the T-57 Heavy, puts a good shot into the side of his turret, and comes around the corner, finishes him off. that DPM is just simply amazing. If you'd been in an E50M or an FV4202 in the current patch, possibly even the Leopard, you probably wouldn't have been able to reload that quickly and put a second shot into the T57 Heavy. So Nailbiter is now over 8,000 damage, and he's secured a top gun. Yeah, if the game was to end now, that would be a simply incredible result that anyone would be very, very, very proud of. Nailbiter's not done here yet. He's using his brain to try and figure out what he thinks the enemy are doing. So, with the way that he's facing his turret, I think he believes that they're going to be approaching along this northern corridor from the northeast of the map. So he's fallen back into a defensive location. The enemies aren't capping yet, and he has a nice view of the cap circle. Fair enough, there are lots of buildings blocking most of that view into the cap circle. But there's no real pressure on him yet. He's still got 90 seconds before he needs to interrupt. And I think he believes that the Object 140 is coming hunting for him, which he'd very much like to take out. And there was the Object 140. The Object 140 wasn't coming from the east. He was advancing along the south. It was a little unlucky that Nailbiter did move from his original position, otherwise he would have been able to shoot that 140. Nevertheless, I think the 140 realizes, hell, I don't want to go against this STB-1. He looks like a bit of a badass. I'm going to go and join one of the other tanks that's in the cap circle. So now there are two people capping. Nailbiter truly is living up to his name here, and he has to interrupt in the next 15 seconds or this game will be over. This cap circle on airfield with the buildings does make it very exciting. Some of the best replays I've seen have come from these kind of situations. He plows around the corner with 2 seconds left on the cap. Manages to plow one in to the Object 140. A great kill there. But it's not over yet. The Object 268 is the one with most of the cap points. And he has 20 seconds left to try and figure out how he can take out this Tier 10 Soviet tank destroyer effectively. So he comes around the corner, gets hull down, and fires over the Object 140 into the cupola of the Object 268, who seemed to fire an HE round there at the STB-1. Now, thinking about that choice to load an HE round, Nailbiter did have 900 health left. There's practically no chance that an AP round would have been able to kill him in one shot. Whether or not the Object 268 was thinking about that, and that's why he chose to fire an HE round to just hope that he could penetrate the fairly weak frontal armor of the STB-1, or maybe he would have had a chance to shoot him in the side or the rear while he was engaging the Object 140. The HE round was really the only way that he was going to be able to kill Nailbiter there, unless Nailbiter made a terrible mistake and got hit by the artillery. Now, not a single artillery shell was fired at Nailbiter in the cap circle there. So that might be able to tell him something about his position. What can he use for that information? But oh wait, it's pretty obvious where the artillery is now. That's the reason why the artillery didn't fire at Nailbiter. He was on his way towards the cap circle, and it's quite likely that he was either down maybe here, or he was going up around this way. Maybe he was on his way up here and he couldn't get a shot in towards Nailbiter in the cap circle. So a bit of a misplay there by the enemy artillery. He should have realized that with a couple people capping that he really didn't need to be going into the cap circle himself. He should have just aimed his shot. But fortune favors the bold. The Nailbiter certainly has been bold this game. So he's going into the cap circle now, and it's sudden death really. Nailbiter is now definitely a one-shot for that 212A, even if he splashes pretty much near him. Where is he? There he is. He has the back of the 121A and finishes him off with style. What a fantastic result at the end of the game there for Nailbiter. outpositioned the 2-1-2A, and left him with absolutely no chance at the end of the game. This was simply fantastic gameplay to show how you can outplay your opponents in medium tanks. Nailbiter used his DPM advantage, his mobility advantage, just the flexibility that comes with driving a medium tank to outplay multiple opponents without much fire support, securing his 9th kill and 9,000 damage at the end of the game, as well as the Kolobanov's medal and the Radley Walters medal. Nailbiter, thank you so much for this replay. It was absolutely fantastic to watch. Definitely one of the best tier 10 games I've seen in a while. And you have multiplied my excitement about getting this tier 10 Japanese tank. So let's just take a quick look at the post-game stats. So Nailbiter made 120,000 credits, which more than paid for the premium consumables that he used, gaining 2,484 experience. The Defender's Medal, obviously a high caliber for that kind of a result. The Radley Walters Medal, and one of the best ones in the game, the Kolobanov's Medal. Congratulations to you, sir. Especially so as the description does say that it is his first ever Kolobanov's Medal, and the first one is always the most special. Nailbiter fired 34, of which 30 hit and 29 of the 30 penetrated. He hit one of his blind shots and he was only one away from breaking the 10,000 damage barrier. Nailbiter used all of his skills to avoid as much of the enemy fire as possible to negate the disadvantage of the STB-1's low armor thickness. Nevertheless, it held up kind of okay, bouncing at least one shot in the game, which looks like it was a round from either the E100 or the T110E3. Nailbiter got 200 base defense points in that round, traveling nearly 5 kilometers to do so. So again, Nailbiter, thank you so much for this replay. It was one of the best tier 10 medium games that I've seen, and definitely the best STB-1 replay that I've seen. And hopefully everyone on YouTube agrees with me. Anyway guys, if you've enjoyed this video, please consider rating it down below. It really helps the channel out. And let me know in the comments below what you thought about Nailbiter's gameplay here, and what you think about the STB-1. Do you think that it's pretty brutal, the fact that it's so mobile, it's got 10 degrees of gun depression, it's got fairly okay frontal armor, and it has the highest DPM of any of the medium tanks? Or maybe you're of the view that this was kind of like the optimal situation for the STB-1, i.e. at short to medium ranges where it can negate the disadvantage of its accuracy and its aim time. Anyway, as always guys, thank you so much for watching, you've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.